What up, guys? Welcome to another video. So I've been very busy lately. Haven't had a lot of time to work on this thing. I finally was able to pull it out. I was gonna do some body work on the rear quarter panels and just get them ready for paint. But I did realize that there's a lot of waviness on this quarter panel, which I never checked it, I guess. So I'm gonna have to go through the whole car again, panel by panel. I'm just gonna start on the passenger side and then finish on this side and then just prime the whole car all at once. I know the whole front end is basically done. Everything's new except for I have a mess. Like I said, I'm throwing a lot of stuff away, these panels, but other than that, the rest is pretty much going to be sand and prep. Since I can't get any progress done because I'm missing a lot of sandpaper and I just ordered it, it's going to be a few days before I can get to that. I'm actually going to start working on the interior. So I'm going to go ahead and gut it all out, see what I'm working with, start if I have enough wiring to wire the sound system, I'm going to start doing that. And then, yeah, hopefully by the end of the day, I'll go ahead and order the carpet, decide what color interior I'm going to go with, or if I'm going to have to go to Orange County to pick it up. And start mounting seats, start planning and designing the dashboard. I'm going to take you guys through that process. At least it's going to be a process that I'm going to do my way. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. I don't have the skills to weld and make it happen with metal or aluminum, which would be ideal. So I think I'm just going to go online and check what type of wood I could use for the top of the dash and the lower portion. And then try to get some plexiglass on the middle, because I don't think I'm going to do any LED crazy illumination type thing. Because once again, I want this car to be somewhat of a daily driver. I do want a custom dash, custom center console, but the rest of it, I'm just considering buying it all factory stuff. So yeah, let's get started and clean this. I removed the seat. This whole side on the driver's side is actually in good shape. That side, I'm gonna have to do some patching, so I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna have to buy another welder and then just have two once I go pick up my other one. But yeah, I was gonna stall the project just a little bit. I went ahead and cleaned these up. I'm gonna have to get them professionally detailed, since, like I said, either a cat peed there or somebody dropped something on there. It doesn't smell like piss, luckily, but I don't want to risk it, so I'm gonna get them detailed. These bolsters are fairly close to those. Now keep in mind that it's a big year difference. I think these are from like a 2016 BRC or something like that, and these are from a 2010 Mustang. So the bolsters just on top is where these are better, but the rest feels pretty similar. I mean, these are a lot better because they're track seats and they're probably stronger and all. But for a daily driver, I think I'm going to stick to these, especially because they're the same color that I'm going to go with on the interior of this thing. So as of now, we're sticking to these. So I'm gonna throw them in there, bolt them down, or figure out if they're easy to bolt down or if I'm gonna have to modify it, but all that's gonna have to be done before I move forward. Look at this beautiful vehicle. All right, so I took the seats out. I inspected the floorboards, at least this side. This side is good to clean up and just get some Pour 15 on there to encapsulate the rust. That side is going to need some patch panels. As you can tell, it's got some ventilation there and in this area. So I'm going to push the car back in, go into the car, check it out. If I need to replace the floor pans on both of those sides, or get away with just some patch panels, I'll go to Orange County tomorrow and buy them. But yeah, right now I'm going to try to clean up a little bit, go through my mess. I found some wires that I left in the car for the sound system. I might actually end up doing a battery in the trunk, so I'm gonna just look through the car right now and decide all that. But as of now, I can't finish the damn interior. All right, I don't even know where I left off, but working on the bodywork. I did a couple Bondo patches. I started block sanding it. There's some low spots, some waves, etc. So I just took that little hammer and just started beating the crap out of the car. Some little cracks there, here and there. Just so I can sand it back down. Like I said, this isn't a show quality car. I would have been doing it differently. I don't know if I mentioned that the floor pans have some free ventilation, which is a no-go on that side. This side is actually good, other than right here. Whenever they picked up the car with a forklift, they bent the bottom. So I'm going to look for a ginormous sledgehammer, try to beat it back into its normal place without making a hole. And then after that, I think I'm just going to start cleaning this side, so I could Pour 15 in. And then once I patch that side, I'll take care of that side. But got a lot going on right now. I'm trying to keep the ADHD to a minimum and focus on working instead of leaving. All right, just so you guys can get an idea of how straight this door is. Look at that body line on top. I just briefly sanded that way and this way. I took a little too much primer, but that's nice. That's nice. I guess now that I remember, I did the bodywork better on this door than I did on that quarter. For some reason, there's a bunch of dings and like a couple waves. So I probably just missed them the first time I was sanding it. So I'm glad I'm going over the whole car. And like I said, today, this whole side is the goal. And if I have enough time, I'll do the floor pan on the driver's side. And then tomorrow I'll focus on the roof, the trunk, and the rear panel. And if I have enough time, I'll do the door and the quarter panel on that side tomorrow, and then just prime everything together. And then while all that primer is drying, I'll do the front end. I actually have to order the primer today before I forget. I got some, but not enough. And on this car, I'm actually I'm using the U-pull system. So what I mean by the U-pull system is I'm using their filler, their glaze or putty or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I'm also using their primer. From my experience, it's been good. I've never had any issues with it. The only thing that I've noticed is that if you use a cheaper filler, they sell it at O'Reilly's. So if you want to get it quickly, go to O'Reilly's. But if you use a cheaper version than that one, so how you could tell it's like a bluish white. Well, it's white, and with the hardener it becomes blue. If you use that over this yellow one, you're gonna struggle a lot more. This yellow one is so smooth and it's so easy to apply. You actually feel like you're a pro with this thing. So if you guys take advice from me, the U-pull 2K primer, buy it online. eBay, that's where I usually buy it for around $100. And then this Bondo, I just go to O'Reilly's. But yeah, other than that, there's also another product. And now I'm not sponsored by them, obviously. They'll probably get offended if I tell them that, if I show them what I'm doing on my cars. Oh, there it is. Let me see if I could at least show you guys. That's a fiberglass reinforcement. That's also what I use. Usually that's what I use whenever I have welds. I'll use that first, sand it down to match the body line as much as I can, and then Bondo over it. That's how I was taught. It might be the wrong way, but it's been working for me for the last 6 years. So I've never had an issue with any of my older cars. But yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's I think it's worth it. We're getting there slowly. All right, so basically I'm gonna explain to you guys a little bit of what I did. Now I know there's a lot of professionals on YouTube. This is not the way you guys like it. move on. This is more for a beginner person that is looking for somebody to explain to them what they're doing. Now, I'm not a professional, so keep that in mind, but I enjoy doing this. So basically what I did is I used this longer block, an even longer one. I think this one's 12 inches, or as I tell my wife, it's 6 inches. A 24-inch one would probably be better for a long panel like this, because I guess you move in more surface and it's quicker and it's straighter. So the whole point of this block is obviously that it's straight, so the surface is going to be as straight as possible. This one's actually, if I paint this car black, is going to be a perfect reflection right here. That's how straight it is. Now I got to do the bottom, but since I'm injured, I got to remove the door, and I'm going to do it on the stand. But as of now, I blocked it in a crisscross or an X motion, so you can get it perfectly flat. And I typically stay away from the edges, and then I just focus specifically on the edges. So I'll sand the edge a little harder and then like feather it into the rest of the body, so you don't get a body line, which I had right here. That's why I fixed it. And then on the actual edges, like right here, I'm gonna have to add a little bit of material. As you guys can see, it's sanded off fine. So this area sanded off perfectly fine. Jesus Christ. And then up here where you guys see more dark is the curve is a little more pronounced, or a little further in this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some body filler, just lightly add body filler. So I usually sand it with like 80 or 120. And then I'll add body filler, come back and sand it, make it perfect. And then once I prime it and color sand it, this door is actually going to be like show quality. You guys will see. I'll make sure I point it out. As for the rest of the body, I'm just waiting for the bonder to dry. So once it dries, I'm going to do the top part, remove the door. I'm going to do the bottom part of the door. And then once that's done, I'm going to jack this car up and then do this side. That bottom area needs more work. And did I? Yeah, I already rolled the lips just in case I want bigger tires. And I do have a mini tub kit coming in. I don't know if I'm going to install it or I'm going to have somebody come and help me. Like I said, I don't have a welder, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there. Other than that, the roof is new, so it should be straight. But usually what you get with these hoods is that they're in boxes and people throw them around and they'll get dings and dents. So I still have to go through that. But I guess we'll get there when we get there. But it's slowly coming along. Let me move to the bottom. All right, so I did the top part of the outer skin. The bottom still needs a lot of work, but other than this side, I'm just trying to figure out, I'm avoiding sanding it there because I'm trying to figure out if it's round here or if it has a body line all the way over to the quarter panel. Google will help me, but for the most part, I sprayed a little more black paint so I could see where the body line is. Pretty straight. I've got to work on it right here a little bit, but other than that, I think this door's ready to flip it around. And just so you guys know, when you're using these stands that are metal, that cushion that they come with from, I guess, the factory is not very good. So I tend, if you're gonna put like the body panel on it, I tend to put either a blanket or a pillow. I usually use that rag. I'll fold it up and use it and try not to put any pressure when you're sanding down. So I have to figure out how I'm gonna do that and if I'm gonna remove the latch so I could take it off, clean it, re-grease it and all that good stuff, because I looked into buying new ones, but they're like 80 bucks. I really don't want to spend 80 bucks on that. But then again, that's how I think. Last night, I went online and I was looking at floor pans and they're $160, $180 plus shipping. And I bought a turbo. Yeah, that's the issue of building a car, that you got to get some parts that you need over the ones that you want. But my brain's broken, so I bought a turbo instead. And I'm gonna probably have to patch up those floor pans, but we'll see. All right, I added a little bit of Bondo, not Bondo, body filler. This area, I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do with it yet. I'm gonna go eat right now and then check if it's gonna be round or the body line continues to the quarter panel, which now I'm gonna have to repair on the quarter panel. So it could just like, I guess, disappear into the quarter panel. I don't know what you wanna call it. Body filler, I haven't sanded the whole bottom, so excuse me. Over here there was a couple pinholes, so I just smeared some Bondo in there. I'll just give it another pass and then we should be good. The top is actually pretty decent. I'm surprised how well that came out. So I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. This Bondo usually dries out really fast. As you guys can tell, the edges are already kind of dry. It's just the middle where there's more filler. It's a little wet. So I'm gonna go eat, give it some time. We'll be back. All right, I'm back. So I sanded some of it down. I just wanted to show you guys. So if you guys remember, I put some Bondo there, Bondo here somewhere. So basically, that's what you're left after you sand it. Where's the other one? That one right there. If you guys can see that little yellow dot right there. Jesus Christ, my fingers look like old man fingers. That's what I was trying to cover. It had like a little nick. So yeah, this stuff is gonna stay there because you touch it with your hand and you can't feel it. Another trick that I was gonna show you guys is I have this ruler. It's like I guess for measuring from PPG. You guys can use anything. I like this one because it's aluminum and it's like perfectly straight. Another thing that I use is I use it. If you see where the light's coming out, that means that the panel's not straight, and that's because I haven't sanded this side. But you see there, a little further, it's straight. There's no light coming under it. I like using this trick because then like right here in the edge, you could make it perfectly straight with this. So watch, like right there's Bondo, there's a hole. So I'm gonna sand it down all the way until it disappears like that. That's just a little trick that I learned, and I mean it works for me. Once I sand this corner, then I'll start sanding this side and give this body line the shape all the way to the edge. And then once that's done and I sand that, we'll flip it over, start cleaning the other side of the door. I want to have this door 100% done and ready for paint, and then move on to the next panel, which is probably going to be that one. All right, guys, so a little bit of a speed bump. Found some rust. I was doing some body work right here to get some of those creases out of there because they bugged me. Found a little bit of rust right here. Luckily, the rest of the door is actually pretty good. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wait, patch this up. I might take the hood hinges off. I did buy a rebuild kit a long time ago. If I can find it, I'll just go ahead and rebuild them. Sandblast them, rebuild them, and then just paint them. One of the things that bothers me on cars is that when you actually like open the doors and the door joints have a bunch of crap from people not sanding them properly. But yeah, and with this paper, so two things I was messing with right now. I took that electric window elevator, etc., out of a different car that I threw the doors away. So I just kept it, and I figured that I might be able to customize it. So the way these things work is they have some little wheels right here that basically this wire goes around them, and this motor moves the wire back and forth, and then I guess that elevates these pieces of plastic up and down. The other day I was seeing that some people make holes on glass. I don't know if it can be done on car glass because it's tempered glass, but if it can be, I might be able to modify these, straighten them out a little bit. Basically remove the ones on the door, give it, because they're curved like that, give it the curve. I think it's less curved than what these have. So give it the curve that the 69 Camaro ones have, and make them work. If I could do that, I mean, it's gonna be a couple hours to do all that crap, probably a lot of hours. But if I could do that, that's a recipe to give you guys, so you guys could do your 69 Camaro electric windows a lot cheaper, because a kit is around $1,000. I mean, granted, you just bolt it up and it works, but I'm too cheap for that. Anyways, and after that, I decided to put paper on the door because I've always wanted to do custom doors. Now, part of me wants to do just original Camaro doors, but since I'm doing a custom dash, me and my brain, custom dash, custom center console, might as well do custom door panels. And I've always wanted to do it. I never have because I know it's a lot of work and probably too much work for my little brain. But I'm gonna just draw it up. If it convinces me, then I'll go ahead and shoot for it. But let me draw something up and we'll see. All right. I really can't see exactly what I'm doing, but something like this, I screwed up a bunch of times, but I know these are riveted on or bolted on, so I can just move them down here. Well, I don't want to rip it. So I can move it down here. It's just a rod that goes that way, so I could just probably move it down and I'll get away with it. So this whole bottom panel would be like an armrest, and it'll be like an inch to 2 inches, probably 2 inches further up this way. The rest would be flat if I keep the electric windows or the power windows, because I still need to crank them and it needs to be flat where I can crank them. Obviously I would find these in billet or some nice material or nice look. This would be mesh for the speaker. I could hide the speaker and a tweeter maybe or something like that behind it. If I want to get fancy, I could do like a 6x9 or a 5x9 or something. And then a tweeter right here and do another like grill that'll flow with this. And this, whatever color the dash is, I could just upholster this that same color and just continue onto the dash. I mean, it's just an idea, but what do you guys think? It'll probably be a ton of work to do this, so I don't know if I'm gonna even attempt it. But I mean, it would be pretty cool. What do you guys think? Looks like crap, but let me draw it and I'll post a picture.